to allow Honorable Ruth Odinga to address us. Kindly, protocol officers, assist our guests to settle so that we can proceed. Kindly. Mheshimiwa.
As you all know, my name is Ruth Odinga Odinga, Buzia. I am the 9th born and officially the last born of Mary and Jaramogi. Beryl was my sister, or is my sister. I would not want to say it was. Youth leader is the firstborn, and I'm the lastborn. So you can imagine how youthful I still am, if youth is a still leader. It's a bit hard for me to actually stand up here to talk about my sister Beryl as if she's no more. Beryl and I were very, very close. Beryl is a sister I had when all my other siblings, my older siblings, were abroad. Honorable Buru was in Russia. Honorable His Excellency Beryl Odinga was in Germany. My sister Wenwa was in Germany. My brother Gola was in Russia. And so, basically, Beryl was the one who went to Nairobi University. But before that, she was the one who was with us. For me, she loved me a lot. I was that young sister they all had that they never expected their mother to have. Even between me and my brother, who had believed all the years that he was the lastborn, I came maybe 6 years after him, so nobody had expected me to be there. So they all pampered me, but Beryl was there with me as I was growing up. When I was in primary, I remember she even wrote an essay for me in school, and when I went, the teacher was very suspicious. Mr. Fernandez said, "Are you sure you're the one who wrote this?" Because Beryl had impeccable English, and she was really good in English. So she wrote for me an essay that was not for a person who is in standard 5. The teacher then made me a week later to write the same essay, and you can imagine what happened. Beryl really mattered us. I lived with her as she was married to the husband then, Ambala. And actually, when Auma was born in Victoria, I'm the first one who held her because she had had a very long labor during birth, giving birth. So Auma, Chizi, even Taurai in Zimbabwe, I am the one, the little sister, who always lived with Beryl. As fate would have it, I even went to live with Beryl in Zimbabwe. That was after the 1982 coup, which saw some of us, including Governor Orengo here, go into exile. Going into exile, I lived a bit in Uganda, Tanzania, but Tanzania, we were told, is not safe. They were returning all refugees to Kenya, so I then had to go to Zimbabwe and live with Beryl in Zimbabwe, where I did Form 5 and Form 6. I was one of the only people who went to school through Beryl, who went to school driving a Jaguar and parked it next to the teachers who didn't have Jaguar. You can imagine how I was getting a lot of X's on in my exams. So Beryl was a very special person. Amongst us all, apart from Raila, I would say Beryl is someone who loved her family. She wasn't such a public person, but Beryl loved her family. She loved us all. And she strived, because Beryl was a classy lady. She believed, and I think it's true anyway, that we come from a royal background, and therefore we must always remain royal. That was my sister Beryl. She didn't want all this, and she'll tell you, you get what I mean. I getting, because, and you get it. Are you getting it, you people? Yeah, that's Auntie B for you. She taught us impeccable English. She taught us to read. I read the first comic books when I was in standard 4. There was Dandy, there was Bino, there was Andy Cap, there was Tintin. You know, anyone of you can remember those. Then she put us into James Hadley Chase, which were some novels. And she loved reading, she loved novels. She loved us to know. She taught me how to use my fork and knife and to put it properly. And she taught me a lot, and she taught all of us. We all lived with her in Zimbabwe. My brother died, and she took up my brother, the third born, Agola. She took up Agola's children and Agola's wife and took them to Zimbabwe. Hello, this is so shameful. So shameful of our leaders. This is wrong. Completely wrong.
Niombe sote tuketi ili tuendelee na ratiba. Niombe asante. Niombe sote tuliosimama tusalie kuketi, na niwakumbushe kwamba tuko kwa ibada ya wakfu. Wewe ulio na vuvuzela na hiyo bango, huyo kijana aweke chini. Utaweka chini. Sisi tumekuja hapa kuomboleza, na hiyo ndio itafanyika hapa. Ninaomba sasa tumpatie nafasi aliyekuwa anatuzungumzia anapoendelea hapa. Kama nilivyopanga, maafisa walio na sare rasmi ya serikali peke yake, wengine wote walinzi na wasaidizi bukae nje ya hema, na itifaki hiyo ifuatwe kikamilifu. Ni kuombe kwa unyenyekevu, Mheshimiwa Ruth Odinga, uendelee na hotuba yako. Samahani.
Hello? We can't even continue. It is unfair to come and do this kind of thing. My sister was so peaceful. She would have loved to have a peaceful funeral. My fellow colleagues, my fellow politicians, this is an embarrassment. It is not right. Haya, naendelea. Wacha niendelee. My sister was the first woman in the independent Zimbabwe and first black to become the town clerk in the third largest city called Mutare. You can imagine how hard it was working that time when there was still just independence, and most of those blacks there wanted themselves to become the clerks. And so they gave her a hard time, but being a tough lady, she managed to work there, and later, as Dr. Sally has said, went on to work in